I know one person like this. I know one person like this where something's wrong. You're thinking, well, you really need like a hospital, 911. I'm going to call 911. No, I already did. Oh, you called 911? Finished. No doctors, no hospitals, no nothing. Why? Call Hashem. It's better than 911. It's better than 911. And that's how they live their life. That's how they live their life. That's real bitachon. So first and foremost, a person needs to do everything possible not to bring fear onto themselves for no reason. Unwarranted fear. Most of the time, when we make different types of crimes against Hashem, it's because of these things. It's because of our unwarranted fears, where we're afraid that we're not going to be able to pay for something or buy something, and therefore we start doing things that are illegal. People that steal don't usually start off as wicked people. Usually they start off as like an act of desperation. Usually they're scared of not being able to pay the rent on time, or the mortgage on time, or they owe somebody money and they're putting pressure on them, and something happens and all the pressure, cooks them and cooks them and cooks them, and eventually they say, I gotta do something, but I gotta do something quick. Why? Going to work for my job, I'm gonna make X amount of money, it'll take me 100 years to make this money back. I can't do it. So I gotta do something quick. And they go do something out of desperation. The worst thing that can happen to them is it works out. They go and they take money, they cheat somebody, they steal from somebody, they cheat the government, or they do something like, for example, I remember years ago, there was a show that I saw called American Greed. And it showed different types of people that cheated the government, cheated the U.S. government. Because the U.S. government has such a huge budget. I mean, we talk about trillions of dollars. And even in those time, in that day, maybe it was $10 trillion budget. $400 billion budget. The economy was $10 trillion. $400 billion budget that to cheat them for $50, $100, $200,000 or even a few $1 million is easy. Why? Because that's so much money, and it's not their money. It's not the employees' money. That no one really cares. You have to press the button in the back. It's going dead. Turn on the button. Thanks. So what ends up happening is that there's a lot of holes in the system. So there was, obviously people that are desperate or are just not straight people. They take advantage of it. So there's one particular company that took advantage of them by selling the government tools, but at obnoxiously expensive prices, where once they finally caught them, which was like 5 or 7 years after the fact, they started reviewing and auditing the statements of all the purchases, and they would see they sold them one screw that you buy at Home Depot for 2 cents for $85,000. And they got paid. A hammer you could buy for $3, $39,000. All types of ridiculous prices, and since everything is like systematic, they press a button, check, 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 finished. Sometimes because they have somebody on the inside, sometimes not. But the point is that the guy that started this company, this tool company, he didn't start off with saying, I can't wait to cheat the government. If he's normal. He started off, I want to start a business so I can pay my bills, provide for my family, and hopefully I'll land a couple of big clients one day. Once he landed the government as a client, he's like, wow, this is great. Landed the government as a client, it's the best client in the world. Unlimited budget. You could pretty much sell them everything forever. They buy it even if they don't need it. Greatest thing in the world. So you have the biggest customer in the world. Then one day what happens is that the guy makes a mistake. He instead of writing $38 on 3 hammers, he writes $3,800 by mistake. There's 38.00. He forgot the zero. And he got paid. He got paid $3,800 instead of $38. He said, whoa, I got $3,800. This helped me pay my mortgage. Came right in time. What Ashkaha Pratit even says. What a special present from Hashem. He thinks it's a mitzvah even. And now, that's what Satan tells him. Satan tells him, look, you needed $4,000. I gave it to you. See, government paid you $4,000. What's the problem? And unfortunately, now he says, oh, you know what? Next time I get into a jam, I'll do it again. Next time he got into a little bigger jam. Next time it was a $5,000 jam. So he sold them two, instead of $50, it was $5,000. He got paid again. And little by little, this grows. Little by little, this is how it happens. Same thing happens with Ponzi schemes. For anyone who doesn't know what Ponzi schemes are, simply said, it's one person that collects a bunch of people's money with a intention to invest their money in something that's going to make them more money than what they have right now. But there's usually some type of gimmick to it where they tell you, listen, you're guaranteed to get a certain type of return within a certain amount of time frame, which anyone that's an expert in the field knows whatever the guarantee is unrealistic. But since people's desire and obsession with money is above and beyond their common sense, people fall for it time and time again. There's still a million Ponzi schemes going on right now. There will be Ponzi schemes going on tomorrow, and yesterday, and the day before, and a month from now. There always are. I personally think that a good large portion of financial management companies are Ponzi schemes, personally. But you only know who's naked once the market is down. You only know who's swimming naked once the waves start going back into the ocean. Right now, you can't identify the Ponzi schemes so much unless they mess up big time, because it looks like everybody's making money right now because the market's up for 10 years in a row, 12 years in a row. As soon as the market crashes, watch, there's going to be a slew of Ponzi schemes. Slew of them. One after another. People are going to go to jail day after day. Same thing that happened in 2008. Same thing. A lot of the money that's being made right now is fake. But anyway, moving on. These Ponzi schemes usually don't start as Ponzi schemes. They start off with somebody's idea to make other people money. And he gets people money and he makes unrealistic promises. And people give him money. And then one day he realizes, I can't deliver on these promises. I messed up. But his ego is too big. His ego is too big to admit, listen, I can't deliver on his promises. Not only I can't deliver on the promises, I lost you money instead of making you money. What happens? He says, okay, some people want their money back. Okay, I got to do something. He starts giving Peter's money to Paul. Paul's money to Steve. Steve's money, and starts playing games with people's money. And this goes on for as long as he's able to continuously get new money in. As long as he's able to continue get new investors' money in, the Ponzi scheme can go on for 50 years, like Bernie Madoff. But as soon as the well dries up, as soon as investors say no more, or they want to take the money out, Ponzi scheme collapses in 24 hours. Now, the guy that had a Ponzi scheme, Bernie Madoff, for example, big Chilul Hashem, Rasha Merusha, but he didn't start off that way. He didn't start off with, like, I have an intention to steal $50 billion. Maybe he wanted to do this, maybe he wanted to do a few moves, a few quick things, a few things that are not necessarily the most legit, but he didn't have this grand scheme. It just got out of hand. Usually, most thieves are like that. And the reason why is because they have no bitachon in Hashem. They have bitachon in themselves. And as soon as their own system fails them, they have nothing to fall back on because they have no Hashem. And that problem manifests and causes a lot of other people to fall with them. So here we see that by simply being worried about things unnecessarily, you are creating problems for yourself. How much, if we finished here at this point, how many of us can go home and spend a good 20, 30 minutes thinking about all the stuff they're worried about every day for no reason? Everybody could do that. Everybody goes home and says, you know what? What 20 minutes? In 5 minutes, I can figure out 90% of my day is worrying about nothing. Worrying about all the things that are unnecessarily. Worrying about this, worrying about that, worrying non-stop. Most people are so worried, they don't have time to even enjoy good. So the Bet HaLevi is saying, you worry, you have a serious problem. Why? Your worry is a sin. That sin deserves a punishment. That punishment is exactly what you're worried about. Midah keneged midah. Measure for measure. Let me know what you think, and make sure to share it, because other people need to learn too.